Hey everybody, Duck Number 8 Wooden Railway here, and today we are going to review King of the Railway. King of the Railway is the 8th film produced in 2013. My copy is the original 2013 Lionsgate. It was released on DVD twice. It was originally distributed by Lionsgate in 2013, and then it was re-released by Universal in 2014. The front has a picture of Thomas and Stephen at Ulfstead Castle with a red title with the King's Crown on top of the K and a red sign right here in gold writing saying feature length movie. The spine has the hit logo up at the top, has like yellowish, I believe they are clouds. Again, that red title, only thing is that the King's Crown is not in the K. And the same Thomas portrait that you have seen up at the front. I do apologize if you can't see it well, because after I purchased this, I never took the price tag off. And here's your Lionsgate logo down here at the bottom. And the back has a red sign here saying, it's the royal event of the year. Your blurb is right here. Here you have a picture of Thomas, Stephen, Millie, and the Earl outside the castle. And here's a sign saying meet new friends, Stephen, Millie, Connor, and Caitlin. Meet the new characters. Bonus features are right here. These are all the bonus features. Again, sorry if you can't see it well because the price tag is here. And your Lionsgate licensing is down here at the bottom. The disc is a squished up version of the front poster art, and we are going to take a look at the booklet. So the booklet, the front is the same cover of the front of the DVD. Here is my favorite Thomas brand, Thomas Wooden Railway. These are all of the Thomas Wooden Railway items based off of King of the Railway. You could have purchased any of these back during the time when King of the Railway came out. Like, there's like Stevens and stuff like that. Connor and Caitlin, Stevens coaches, Millie, Thomas and the Crown, the Ulfstead Castle set, because like Stephen, Connor, Caitlin, and Millie are the new characters. You could have purchased them back during the time. All of the Thomas Wooden Railway items back when this came out. Take and play items are right here. You could have purchased any of these when King of the Railway came out. All of these are based off of King of the Railway. And same with all of the Trackmaster King of the Railway set. You could have purchased this set as well as Connor, Caitlin, and Stephen. You could have purchased the King of the Railway Trackmaster stuff. Get on board with and read with Thomas. So I guess these are King of the Railway books and stuff like that. Although, one thing is that read the story. I guess these are basically based off of the 5 previous movies. So, yep. And then I guess build your Lego set. I guess this is also based off of King of the Railway. And I guess watch the iTunes App Store. So like on like iPad or iPhone or whatever. And with a trip, this is like the Hard Rock Hotel in Cancun and Punta Cana. I guess you could have had a 6-day all-inclusive vacation, a family of 4 back during the time when King of the Railway came out. You could have had this as well. So, yep, that was the booklet. And now we are going to go through the plot of the movie. So, the Earl has returned to Sodor after traveling the world and wants to restore Ulfstead Castle. Thomas, Percy, and James help with his building project. They deliver equipment to the estate, and part of his equipment is an old rocket engine named Stephen, who gets restored at the steamworks. When Thomas sees him sad, he tells him that the Earl has a job for him, even though the Earl said not to mention anything to Stephen yet. But after Stephen searches for many jobs, he is trapped in the mine when Thomas and Percy can't control some trucks. Everyone searches for him until Thomas blows at the mine and Stephen hears and is saved from Thomas. Thomas saves Stephen out of the mine. Even he founds the King's Crown, which was stolen at the beginning of the movie, and the Earl thought that it would never be found again until Stephen was trapped in the mine. He found it. The characters who are introduced in this movie are a rocket engine named Stephen, the Earl and his private engine Millie, and 2 streamline engines, Connor and Caitlin. And the characters I have lined up here are Thomas, Percy, and James because they're the main characters. They help the Earl with his building project. Gordon and Spencer are here because they're the main characters in like the racing scenes. Steven is here because he's the main. Steven, Millie, Connor, and Caitlin, because this is their debut. All of these have major roles in this movie, Steven especially. And Jack is here because this is when he returns. This is his returning part of the show. So, yep, those are all the characters here, and now I'm going to give you my final thoughts about this movie. So, King of the Railway is a pretty exciting film. It's a pretty fun movie. I know that a lot of people don't really like King of the Railway that much. I think it's mainly because it's like 4 plots mixed together, but for me, I think it's okay. One thing that is true about this movie, it's obviously not better than Blue Mountain Mystery. Like, compared to how good Blue Mountain Mystery last year's special was, this movie, King of the Railway, this is good too, but not as good. But there is a lot to like about this movie. Like, so first of all, before we get into that, this is also the start of a new era, that being the Brenner Era. The animation looks different. I know that a lot of people say that the Nitrogen Era animation looked better than this, but in my opinion, I think that the Brenner Era looked better than the Nitrogen Era a little bit. So, yep. But in my opinion, like how I mentioned that King of the Railway was pretty good. Off to a good start for the Brenner Era, and it looked like that Andrew Brenner was really, really good when he started his era of like making Thomas movies and series. So like King of the Railway, off to a good start for the Brenner Era, and like after this movie, like in terms of the movies, it all gets better from here, right up to Sodor's Legend of the Lost Treasure. The events and elements about this movie were really, really good. Like, I loved learning about Sodor's history of the castle, restoring the castle, King Godred's story, restoring an old rocket engine, and Steven's racing story. All of those scenes of this movie make this movie very, very interesting. And I also love that this movie, again, like how I mentioned, another thing that is new about this era, we also have a new narrator, and I love the new narration of Mark Morgan for actually both the UK and the US dubs. I forgot to mention this when I reviewed Blue Mountain Mystery, but Blue Mountain Mystery was the last film to be narrated by Michael Brandon in the US and Michael Brandon in the UK, and now Mark Morgan is narrating both the UK and the US. I think it's really, really cool that we have the same narrator to narrate both the UK and the US, because basically I think that it's pretty good. And I did forgot to mention, I can explain it better back when I was reviewing the Railway Mischief episodes. The new narrator for like the Railway Mischief episodes, now it's Mark Morgan, narrated both the UK and the US. So yep, that's the new narrator. We haven't had a new narrator. We haven't had the same narrator narrate both the UK and the US since The Great Discovery, which was told by Pierce Brosnan, but now here it's Mark Morgan for both dubs. So yep, that's pretty cool that they're using the same narrator for both versions. I also love the songs about this movie. The songs about this movie were really, really good. Even that they reused a song from the previous movie and changed the lyrics, that being Working Together. Searching Everywhere is also another really, really good song of this film. I think it sounded really, really good. And the end credit song of the movie was really, really good. However, for some reason, the end credit song title is not the movie title. Like, the end credit song is not titled King of the Railway, it's titled It's Gonna Be a Great Day. Now, this is something that I want to talk about the end credit song. In the actual movie, the original version of the song is sung by Sam Blewett, but there is a draft version of the song. I know a lot of people like the draft version better than the original version, but for me, it's hard to say which version is better, because Sam Blewett was also singing like songs of the previous movie, so that's why I like the original version. But I think that the draft version sounds really, really nice too. Like, I think it sounds really, really interesting. So yep, those are the songs about this movie. I even love that we have another returning character, that being Jack the Front Loader. Now we finally have returning characters from the pack, that being Jack here. I kind of wish that Alfie would return into the show too, but we'll see him soon enough. So yep, that's that. Colin, I wish, appeared in this film as well. Colin, who was introduced in season 12, The Party Surprise. But, question about that, like, how would Colin get to the castle? Like, he was working at the wharf. He's fixed in one place. How would they move him from the wharf to the castle? That's kind of weird. But, yeah. And so, that's that. But overall, how I think of this movie, King of the Railway was a pretty good film. I like King of the Railway. I think it's off to a good start for the Brenner era. I hope you enjoyed this review, and stay tuned later on, I guess maybe tomorrow or Sunday, for Santa's Little Engine. Thanks for watching.